One thing you gotta love about my waifu Timerra, she's fun! But seriously, folks, welcome to part 2 of my hypothetical Rainbow Sun on story of Fire Emblem Three Houses. Yes. Oh, I forgot to mention one other thing before we get started. I did a little research, earlier before this video began recording, and I discovered that as much as it really pains me to do this, Volkart also confiscates the Ashen Wolves' heroes' relics. That includes the fetters of Dromi for Yuri and the Vajra Mushti for Balthus. Yes. Oh, and Happy's a bit of a cutie too. And we also lose the Ashen Wolves. Those for story reasons. But other than that, before we begin, and there is something I want to address. This is Myson. As you know, he has the appearance of a generic wizard. But thanks to the artistic efforts of Onerio, Myson goes from this to this whenever he goes into his Agarthan form. There are 7 other Agarthan bosses, and like I said, all credit goes to the artists, and the artist for this one is Onerio, who comes up with some pretty cool designs. I'm not going to lie about that. Much better than the generic Warlock design from Myson, but more on that in a bit. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. The pattern, the color for when you go into story cutscenes goes from red to this color. Hence why, that's one of the reasons why it's called Rainbow Sun. Now then, in tradition, part 1, White Clouds, Lone Moon, the Shadows Return. Now, picking up from the events of the previous month, Edelgard von Hresfeld decided to start a rebellion against the church, and we, the professor, try to appease both Rhea and Edelgard. We cut open our heart and we cut open our chest and pull out the crest stone for the sword of the creator from our heart and give Rhea a choice of either sparing Edelgard so she can have the sword of the creator back, or we smash the sword of the creator into dust. But Rhea ain't having any of that. So we collapse due to blood loss, and so we, Byleth, collapse due to blood loss, and Edelgard picks up the sword, in which case they get into a fight. Edelgard has Rhea pinned down, but just as it seems like she's gonna get killed, who should step in but Volkart von Arundel, who uses magic to pull Edelgard away from Rhea and put her to sleep, and have all the Black Eagle's playable students arrested, while the Blue Lions, Golden Deer, and Ashen Wolves return to their respective houses, and has every single Adrestian student pulled out of the academy, and has the Black Eagle's classroom and the Black Eagle's rooms all boarded up. This part will reveal more sinister methods behind the scenes, as well as some gameplay mechanics that should be touched upon. With that out of the way, let's get started. We start off with a small cutscene between Hubert and Volkard. Hubert inquires what was Edelgard's crime aside from inciting a rebellion in the church. And Arundel tells Hubert that after Edelgard became emperor, she killed her own father. That after Edelgard became emperor, she killed her own father, who by his appearance alone looks like he's already knocking on death's door. Or my shout out to Robbie Demon for this. Lady Edelgard would never kill her own father, as you should know. And Arundel is like, all too well. But I'm sure that a sociopath like Edelgard would also want to kill her own siblings. Lady Edelgard loved her siblings. She even mourned for their deaths. Yes, all to make her look innocent. Edelgard is not the power-hungry monster you're making her out to be. Oh, you're the only one who believes that. Do the church? Does anyone in Adrestia? I suppose not. And soon, no one will. You see, I have an acquaintance to help prepare Edelgard for her execution. So I suggest you sit tight and relax and wait. Since this is going to be a public execution, I invited everyone from across Fodland to attend. So that's your plan, is it? Indeed. And soon, Fodland will belong to its rightful rulers. This is supposed to be for a bit of a spoiler. Credit goes out to Mizunaki of DeviantArt for this, but this is what Edelgard is going to be wearing for the entire month of our staged execution. Edelgard is being held in a Edelgard is being held in a fortress in Roe territory, bordering the Empire and the Kingdom. If I'm wrong about that, please correct me in the comments down below. Oh. Anyways, time for a bit of story. Hello, beast. Are you now enjoying your new accommodations? Hardly. Why don't you drop the disguise since I'm the only one here? Quite the attitude you have there. Well, we'll see how well you can keep it up. For now, I have finished my preparations. The fortress is now... The grounds of the fortress are now inscribed with a magic circle. One that we made especially for you. You see, before your execution, you're going to know what fear truly is. What fear truly is. Mycin casts a spell on Edelgard's all around the entire fortress. Yes. At first it seems like nothing has happened, until Edelgard hears a voice. Elle? Elle, is that you? No, it can't be. Elle, it's me. Have you forgotten me already? No. How could I? Elle, why couldn't you have saved us back then? No, this can't be real. Feeling familiar yet? Well, it's only going to get worse. For the next month, you're going to witness your worst nightmare. And once it is done, you can watch it over and over again. No. For everyone else, I have to stay strong. I have to get through this. I cannot let them break me. I cannot let this get to me. As you all know from the Black Eagle, from Edelgard's story, Edelgard had 10 siblings, 8 older, 2 younger, and they all died from the experiments of those who slithered in the dark. Well, Mycen has made it so that Edelgard relives those experiments. Relives those memories over and over again. And in an attempt to destroy her mind. Meanwhile, the Golden Deer and Blue Lions are reunited, with Lysithea filling everyone in the Golden Deer on what's really going to be happening. And who else should listen in on this but Lawrence's dad, Erwin Gloucester, who was invited by Arundel to the execution. It was a good thing because he needed to hear this too. Oh, dear child, I am so sorry that all... And of course, everyone else couldn't believe it. But considering that Solon was the one who practically decimated Oliver Meyer village, and Kronia was the one that killed Leone. He's mentor Captain Gerald. The Golden Deer fought in to help Lysithea. This is where one of those new mechanics comes in. As this new month actually begins here on the first day of the month of the lone moon. And with Byleth out of commission, players now get to take control of Claude. And this is where another one of those gameplay mechanics comes in. Specifically, the save files. This is from my own Verdant Wind playthrough. Take a look at all those stats. Yep. All those stats become transferred to all the stats from your Golden Deer playthrough who get transferred the Golden Deer's your student stats get transferred from your save files to this new chapter, meaning Claude will get all these skills immediately, if that makes sense. It's a great way to save time, in my opinion. And the only option you get at first is exploration. As Claude, he goes around from his room to explore the monastery. You can still do things like but, and this is a big but, Claude will actually go to various places around the academy. He'll tell the gardener or to start preparing to gather as many of or as much as she can, and because something big is about to go down. He also does this for the fisherman and all the fish in the pond. He goes to Hilda and tells her to tell her brother to keep an eye on Teach. He also tells Sedith that in order to save the knowledge of Garrick Mach, all the books in the library will have to be taken out, including the ones in Abyss. Yes. And yes, Claude does go to Abyss to inform the librarian to take all the books in Abyss's library and get them out, and the classroom of the Ashen Wolves, and get them out as soon as possible. He also goes to recruit the Ashen Wolves again in our place, since we, Byleth, are in the infirmary. Oh, and speaking of, this is something I forgot to mention, but at one point, Dimitri and Rhea wish to speak to Edelgard at House Row, but a guard tells them not to let anyone in to interrogate Edelgard. Not even in the Archbishop, not even the goddess herself is allowed entry. Even though they're both furious, Rhea and Dimitri back off. Anyway, speaking of Dimitri, Claude goes to all the Blue Lion students in order to recruit them for this little cause. Since Hubert is the one who has all the answers, it's imperative that they head to Volkard's Manor to try and talk to him. Oh, and you can and since Claude's not a teacher, he doesn't gain access to lecture. Says to all the stuff of the teachers normally would. But as he's already been instructed. He also goes to the kitchen and tells the chef to prepare to have some pre-made meals ready. He as a bit of a precaution. Next, what? Allah. And he tells all the store clerks to leave, as well. They're gonna need a convoy, so they decide to take all the merchants into a special convoy. And one other thing, he checks in on the professor. And before the day ends, he checks in on the professor. And tells them that he's gotten a bodyguard ready just for him. Once the free time is over, her gameplay will resume and start here on the 3rd. On the 3rd, the Golden Deer plus Irwin prepare to leave, but they are halted by the students of the Blue Lion House, who tell them, who, thanks to Claude's support, will also have Dimitri and Dedue join them. In other words, Dimitri and Dedue are now playable. Yeah! Oh, just imagine. Dimitri, Dedue, all the Blue Lions, and all the Golden Deer are on the same team. But they're not the only ones. And just as they're about to leave, who should be behind the fortress doors of Garreg who should be behind the entryway to the marketplace then Rhea and the Knights of Seiros. However, they appeal to Claude appeals to Rhea's curiosity. Edelgard has the sword crest as to flames seems just like the professor. How did she get it? And Sedith, knowing the real truth of what's going on, has an ultimatum. Either or all the students return to their proper dorms, wait out for Edelgard's execution, or they take them, or the knights go with them to Arundel Manor to get the truth from Hubert. Knowing how straight-laced Sedith is, Claude agrees to the terms. However, they cannot leave the professor unattended, so they have Flayn and Cyril stay behind. And I forgot to mention this. We lost Anna too. But don't worry. She'll play babysitter for Flayn, Cyril, and us, the professor. So now we have more. People joining us. These would include Sedith, with Alois, Catherine, Shamir, Hanneman, Manuela, and of course, Rhea. As for Gilbert, well, we'll meet him at Arundel Manor. Speaking of, we arrived there on the 5th, which is a Thursday. Now, this video has gone on long enough as it is, so next time we'll go over battle mechanics. How are we ever going to get by without Divine Pulse? You'll have to find out in the next video. Until then, and see you later. Yep, part 3. Yep, part 3 will explain battle mechanics. So, again, see you later.